This is your WCIA 3 forecast first, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Rain boots and umbrellas, definitely common today on this very soggy Monday. Still raining in Mattoon. That's where Flooring America, Weather INET, Casey Summers cameras. You can see the clouds there and some of the raindrops. What we will do is zoom in on the Storm Tracker Doppler and show you the very wet Coles County and stretching into portions of Moultrie and Shelby County there as well. But Cooks Mills, Humboldt to Mattoon and Charleston seeing all of that rain, these showers, and a few embedded storms from time to time continue to kind of move across the area. We're going to start to see more of this activity getting closer to that I-72, I-74 corridor over the next hour or so. Nothing severe is expected. Temperatures in the 60s from Champaign down to the 70s in Effingham. Off and on rain expected tonight and again through much of the day tomorrow. It's a wet week ahead. We'll talk about it coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
A teenager died last night from COVID-19. Now his family is sharing his memory and a message.
Many don't have a home anymore after a massive fire swept through an apartment complex, leaving only ash and rubble.
And there are thousands of McDonald's across the country, but one in Danville has a star employee.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
Remember that he was always a happy boy.
His parents thought he was starting to turn the corner on COVID-19, but now Joey Hoopengarner's parents are heartbroken after the 18-year-old died from complications last night. Good evening. I'm Jessica Coons.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. He was a junior at PBL High School. His teachers knew him as an eager student who was ready to learn every day. WCIA 3's Jen Lask is with us. Jen, you talked to Joey's parents. You could hear the heartbreak in their voices. He wasn't the only one in his family to get sick.
His mom also tested positive for COVID-19, and Joey hadn't been vaccinated yet. His mom says throughout his battle, he still wanted to help others first.
He was always worried about, never worried about himself, always worried about me. Mom, are you sick? Are you okay, Mom?
It's that big heart that has made this goodbye so difficult for Kim and Ernie Hoopengarner.
Remember that he was always a happy boy. He had a lot of people that really loved him.
Yep.
And
I just hope this does not happen to anybody else. It is the worst feeling in your life.
Joey's parents say he was starting to get better, but that all stopped this weekend.
he hated hospitals, but he's the one that asked us, please take me.
I know something's wrong, Mom.
Doctors put him on a ventilator, but then he went into cardiac arrest.
We finally had to help him make the decision that, you don't have to work on him anymore, because even if you did bring him back, he won't be the same boy anymore.
Kim and Ernie say talking about Joey and his passion for learning is helping them heal.
Most kids his age hate school. He loves school. He was autistic. He loved school so much.
Yes,
when he got sick, he was so disappointed he had to miss.
Yes, he did. He was upset he didn't get to go to school.
They want people to know how devastating COVID-19 was on their family.
People just don't understand. The virus is real. It's there.
PBL is offering counseling services to high school students throughout the week and longer if needed. Back to you.
All right, Jen, thank you. We reached out to the Ford County Health Department. They say, quote, local health departments are affected by every COVID case and every COVID-related death. We grieve these deaths right alongside the community. More than 45 people have died of COVID in the county since the start of the pandemic. The state announced 24 more COVID-19 deaths today. More than 1,200 new cases were announced. The positivity rate is now below 3%. More than 53,000 people were vaccinated yesterday. Our 7-day average is more than 66,000 doses. More than 37% of the state is fully vaccinated. That's around 4.8 million people. A vaccination clinic for children could help increase those numbers. It'll be this Wednesday at the Macon County Health Department and is for children 12 and older from 8:30 to 11:30 and 1:15 to 3:30. You can walk in or schedule an appointment.
A Taylorville man is dead after a crash that happened Saturday. This happened on Route 48 northeast of Stonington. The sheriff says witnesses told them two cars collided head-on. They say 36-year-old Brandon Estes tried to swerve out of the way. He later died at the hospital. A woman accused of setting a fire that killed her boyfriend and baby pleaded not guilty today. Stephanie Sanders is charged with arson, manslaughter, and murder. Fire happened in early March in Vermilion. Michael and 2-month-old Nettie Phipps died. This fire destroyed an apartment building in Beardstown last night. 3 firefighters, including the chief, were seriously hurt while fighting it, as was a person who lived there. All of them are expected to survive. WCIA 3's Cole Henke has the story.
There was almost no time to react. Christian Kamungo woke up to a woman yelling in the hallway of his building. When he checked outside the door, he was met by a wall of black smoke.
And I saw a very dark smoke was coming, it was coming to us.
This building served as a home for many immigrant workers here in Beardstown, and the fire left them little time to escape. They only had time to grab their things most precious to them, and the rest was destroyed.
I lost everything. I lost my clothes, so I lost even if the clothes that I wear for going to work. I have nothing left, just my pajamas. Nothing. Everything's gone.
The fire spread through the building at a fast pace. Firefighters struggled through the night to contain it. 3 were hurt after jumping out of a second-story window. But just as quickly as the fire spread, the community stepped up to help those who lost their homes.
We always got doors open. When things happen, we know the confusion is everyone. People don't know where to run, what to do. So that's why we went out there and tried to contact everybody that was affected for the fire.
Churches opened their doors for those who were displaced. Neighbors offered clothes, food, and even bedrooms, all in the interest of helping their community members get back on their feet.
I need a place to stay for a month, just for 1 or 2 months. In 1 or 2 months, I can find my own apartment.
Reporting in Beardstown, I'm Cole Henke, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
The fire department had to tear down the outer walls of that building to put out the rest of the flames. They're still investigating how the fire started.
2 people were hurt after a house fire this morning in Danville. It happened on Bryan Avenue near South Buchanan. The people living there were able to escape on their own. 2 were treated for burns. Firefighters were able to put out everything and rescue several dogs. The cause is still under investigation, and something is being done in Danville to make sure those firefighters can do their jobs. Aqua Illinois is starting hydrant flushing around town. It happens every year to clear them out of any extra dirt or sediment. It also makes sure the hydrants are fully up and running in case firefighters need to use them.
We need to make sure that the nuts will turn, everything will come apart, it's not leaking, our water valves that control the hydrant are operable.
Officials say if you notice dirty water being flushed out of your nearby hydrant, turn your tap on and let it run for 20 seconds.
It's hard to go places if you don't have gas to do it. How much it'll cost you at the pump.
Plus, there's been a lot of push and shove between landlords and renters throughout this crisis, how they are both getting help.
Kevin, I really enjoyed this weekend's weather.
Yeah?
I mean, it was pretty good.
Wasn't too bad.
Stamp of approval from this one.
Well, you know what? It's almost going to be 90 here in a few days. How about that? You approve of that? She likes...
We'll see.
Now there's a problem.
80s are good.
80s are good. 90s is too much. I know. All right, we're going to try to see what we can do here for you. Today, 60s, okay? But we had a lot of rain out there. We're going to talk about how much rain we've seen, how much more is still to come next.